Stepped out of bail, I did a diddy bop. I had to tilt my hat at the city cop. I walk away free cause I'm innocent. And when I walk, the whole world know a nigga why. We been at the gas station all night. We been at the gas station all night. They done had the bag waiting all night. Tell them that it's lit, bitch, we on fire. Ay, praise to the Most High. Ay, praise to the Most High. Send it praise to the Most High. Praise to the Most High. Devil want a nigga show. I beat that nigga 1,000 times in a row. Couple weeks ago, he thought he threw his best shot. All I'm looking at is Twitter playing friend or foe.
One thing I can tell you, I'm never gonna forget Robert Green and his family. Especially his mom. It's the original Tiger Mom. You talk about an advocate for her child, but it was never my intention to represent him. I can remember clearly when the pastor of his church came to see me in connection with his own personal business. And towards the end of our consultation, he tells me that a member of his church has a son who's in jail, and he's charged with the rape of his niece, who's 7 years old. So I told the Reverend, that's not a case for me. If he did that, he needs to go to prison and hopefully learn something. So the Reverend insisted that Mr. Green was not guilty, that he was totally innocent, that he was a good kid. So I'm thinking to myself, first of all, I don't handle criminal cases. And if I did handle criminal cases, this is not the type of case that I would want to get involved in. But the Reverend and I grew up together. Actually, he officiated at my mother's funeral.
Oh, look. Look, I'm about to get this lady her water real quick. I'm gonna hit you back in like 5 minutes. Alright, dude. You said you got the other ugly nigga with you.
Soon as I get my masters back, they want chatter. Now I'm independent, niggas want fended. White labels trying to turn my black folk against me. Been selling weed, that nigga don't offend me. Tell my trappers get blooming bags ready. We finna fill them bitches up with Mad Reggie. Take them to the block, sell them at exclusive price.
One day I'm at the house, me and my mother's at the house, and we get a knock on the door. Boom, boom, boom. My mother go downstairs and she answers the door, but she takes a little long to come back upstairs from answering the door. So I'm like, Ma, who is that? And she's not responding. So I'm like, Ma. So she slowly comes in the house, and when she's coming up the stairs, she got tears in her eye. And I'm like, Ma, what's going on? Who's downstairs? And she's just crying, and she's like, I got some news to tell you. I'm like, what's going on? Who's downstairs? And she's like, there's some police downstairs. I'm like, police? For what? She's like, for you. I'm like, for me? What I do? So she just crying. She like, sit down, just sit down. I'm like, nah, Ma, I don't want to sit down. Like, what's going on? And she's like, there's some messed up stuff going on. They want you to go down to the precinct for questioning. I'm like, no, they could question me right here. Why don't they go down to the precinct? Like, what's going on? And she was like, I don't know what's happening, but they talking about rape. And I said, rape? What? So she's crying. I said, Ma, I'm not going downstairs. I'm not going to no precinct. Like, you might as well just close the door and basically tell them to go about their business. And she's crying. She's basically at this point begging me to just go to the precinct. So I looked in her eyes and I seen how concerned she was. And I'm like, all right, Ma, I'm gonna go there because you want me to go. Like, you know I ain't do none of this stuff that they talking about, these allegations, but if you want me to go, I'm gonna go to the precinct. So she said, okay. She went downstairs, she told the officers that she would bring me to the precinct. And they said, okay, we'll meet you there. So she came back upstairs, we got dressed, she called the cab, we went to the precinct. We go to the precinct as soon as we get out the cab. We go inside the precinct, they do handcuffs on me. There was no questioning, there was no, are you Robert Green? Do you know this? Do you know that? Where were you? There was none of that. There was straight handcuffs, And once I got the handcuffs on me, I'm like, Ma, you see this? You see why I want to come down here? I started getting crazy. My mother started crying. And they start telling my mother, this is procedure, this is what they have to do. And my mother is basically yelling at them saying, you told me you was going to question my son, why are you locking my son up? I didn't see outside of New York for 11 months after that. Yeah. And then I was young, I was 18. I was fully innocent, didn't know what they was talking about. They threw me, they took me through the process, they took my picture, they running me through central bookings. I'm in a cell with other inmates. I've been in the cell for probably about going on 3 days now. People coming in, they seen the judge, they leaving. I'm still in the cell. I'm calling my mother. They got a free phone and you can call your mother. I'm calling my mother, asking her, like, Ma, what's going on? Like, you gonna get me out of here? Like, what's happening? Like, what's going on? I'm trying to get a lawyer. I don't know what's going on. Just be patient. I love you. And then on the third day, these two ladies came. These two Caucasian ladies, they came. Now I know one of them was the district attorney. But back then I didn't know who they were. And they asked me, are you Robert Green? I said, yes. They said, would you like to speak with us before you go see the judge? You got to go see the judge soon. And I'm like, yeah, I want to speak to y'all. I'm trying to get up out of here. Like, I'm innocent. Me being naive, me being dumb, I didn't know nothing about going through the process. I didn't have a lawyer with me. They took me out the cell. They brought me into this interrogation room. They turned the recording on. They had a pen and a pad, and they began to interrogate me. They started asking me questions. What's my name? Where was I? And the whole time I'm trying to defend myself the best to my ability. You know what I'm saying? They purposely asking me certain questions, trying to trick me up. And I'm trying to defend myself, and it got to a point where I said something like, if y'all got any type of evidence on me, I plead guilty right now, because y'all know I didn't do this stuff. Like, y'all don't have anything on me. Y'all know I'm innocent. Why y'all trying to do this to me? The district attorney tried to take that and run with it. So after they let me out of the interrogation room, 10 minutes later I went to go see the judge. As soon as we get out to the judge, I had a legal aid at the time. The legal aid told me, don't say nothing. If you want to talk, tell me and I'll tell it to the judge. And I'm looking at him like, don't say nothing. What? This is my life on the line. So I'm like, okay, whatever. We get out there, they call my name. I think my mother, my sister, my brother's in the background. And first thing that come out the DA's mouth is, we got a video confession of him confessing to the crime. We asked that he be sent to Rikers Island, and she said some other legal terms that I can't remember right now at this time. But she pretty much told the judge that she had a video confession of me confessing to this crime. And the legal aid tried to say something to rebut that, but it wasn't what I wanted him to say. So I started speaking out of turn, like, nah, she's lying, I didn't confess to nothing. The judge banged his hammer order, like, you know, and I'm like, she's lying, I didn't confess to nothing. Like, ain't no confession, I didn't do this crime, what she talking about? The judge banged his hammer, he told me if I talk again, that they would send me back there and I would have to wait to see him again or something like that. And then, long story short, he set my bail at $500,000. $500,000. And they sent me to Rikers Island. My family didn't have no type of money to pay that bail. I think with a bail bondsman, you can find someone that pay 40%, 10%, or whichever percentage they accept. My family didn't have no money to pay none of that. And I had a legal aid who really didn't care if I was in or out of jail. And then when he banged that hammer and I went in the back, Rikers Island, I didn't even know what Rikers Island really was. I heard about it, but I never been there before. So now I'm in the back in the cell, and like the room is spinning almost. Like I'm short of breath, oxygen, trying to breathe. Like they talking about going to Rikers Island. Like I'm asking other inmates like, what's going on? They like, you going to Rikers Island? You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting all this legal advice from inmates and stuff, and they telling me what to do. And when you get there, go to the law library. All this is going in one ear, out the other ear. Really, I'm like having a nervous breakdown. And that same night, they called all our names, lined us up, handcuffed us to another inmate. They put us on the bus. And that's probably like the last time I seen outside of New York, besides being on a bus handcuffing somebody for 11 months. And then when I was in jail, my family was trying to do the best they can to get a lawyer. They had to get some money up or whatever it is that they were doing on the outside. I don't know, but I was just on the inside trying my best to keep my composure, calling my mother every 5 minutes. The first couple of days in there was rough. I didn't know what was going on. I got into fights. I got jumped. It was a bunch of stuff going on. I don't think Miss Hawkins came into the play until probably about like 2 or 3 months of me being in there, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember exactly, but I think it's probably at least, I was in there probably for at least about 2 months before my family could even hustle up the money to be able to pay a lawyer. I don't know how the agreement came about, but I know my mother said that she didn't want to take my case. She was like, "Let's take the type of case I do," or something like that nature. And then my mother said that she asked Miss Hawkins to just go there and look my son in the eye and just see if he's telling me the truth. Just go visit him or something like that. It was some type of words like that, some type of literature. And I'm in Rikers Island, just going through the motions. I probably got jumped probably about like 5 times by different gangs. Transferring housing from one house to another house, not knowing what's going on, barely eating. I'm sick. Not sick like I'm sick from a virus or something. I was sick, like I just couldn't eat. I couldn't stomach nothing. I'm getting skinnier. I'm just all confused, all discombobulated. And then one day, one of the CEOs called my name. They said, "Green." They called me by my last name. They said, "Green, you got a visit." And I get up, go to the visit. You got 2 types of visits. You either get attorney visits or you get personal visits, like your family and friends come see you. So it's an attorney visit. I'm like, attorney visit? I ain't got no attorney. Ain't no legal way coming to Rikers Island to come see me, you know what I'm saying? So when I get up there, that's when I met Miss Hawkins.
How much,
I'm trying to get 10.
you trying to get 10?
What you mean? You flip it this shit,
1,
man?
2, 3, 4, 5,
I'll be giving it to my friends so they can try it.
We got 8.
I'll take it.
We got 8 and we need a half a pack.
Bitch, we on fire. Ayy, praise to the Most High. Ayy, praise to the Most High. Send it praise to the Most High. Praise to the Most High. Devil want a nigga show. I beat that nigga 1,000 times in a row. Couple weeks ago, he thought he threw his best shot. All I'm looking at is Twitter playing friend or foe. Cloud chasers need the relevancy. All talk come from irrelevant MCs. None of those guys are relevant as me. Guess what that means? I'm on a whole nother league. Wait, don't stop, let's tell another story. What the fuck happened to rap? This isn't for me. Never did I ever think I would see the day. Rap niggas telling the cops to come for me. They try to turn me to a cold felon. All they help me do is get some more millions. All I see is free Tory, free Tory. Homie, I was in Miami on the shore chillin'.